Shout out to Ring RQ, Julius, you legend. We're going to do a joint interview, yeah? Yeah, we'll do a joint interview, Julius. Thanks for the support. You're a legend. From your girls, Raven and Ellie.
Welcome to the motherfucking relay. We're covering today's top boxing news.
Okay, we'll start with this. It would seem that former champion Melli Flores has already booked herself another fight before this year is out that will see her become a champion that could see her win her belt back the same year that she lost it. Opposite the ring, unbeaten Melissa Mortensen of Denmark. Set to go down later on this month on the 21st on the undercard of Amanda Serrano's next fight, broadcasted live via TikTok. From Temecula, California, Melli Flores sports professional record of 13 wins with 2 losses and 1 draw, 4 knockouts, having never been knocked out in 16 professional bouts. An unrelenting pressure fighter who's as durable and tough as they come. Gave Ellie Scottney her hardest fight, in my opinion, and made her look the most human, made her work the most hard. Now she's gonna make Melissa Mortensen work hard. Melissa sports an unblemished record of 9 wins with no losses and no draws, 5 recorded knockouts. A Dane from Denmark, last in action in January of this year, opposite the ring, the United Kingdom's own Tori Ellis-Willits, who she decisioned over 8 rounds. Before that, she had a very, very busy 2025, fighting 5 times, count them, 5 times in the previous year. It's interesting because Melissa debuted as a professional in 2021, but only boxed once that entire calendar year, and didn't come back to the ring until October of 2024. 3 years later, fighting 2 times that year, then 5 times the next one, seemingly making up for lost time and hitting the ground running. Just 9 fights into her pro boxing career, she's got her first world title shot as a result of Ellie Scottney, then undisputed champion, dropping all the belts she won and moving up to feather. Needless to say that she could be in over her head with Melli Flores, though, as she's in with somebody better than anyone she's ever been in with. Melli Flores last in action in April of this year, dropping a decision to Ellie Scottney. The vastly more experienced fighter of the two in this situation, Melli has been in there with the likes of Yuli Hangluna, the former champion, Mariana Juarez, Barbie Juarez, the boxing legend, champion Nazarena Romero, and more recently, Ellie Scottney. Needless to say, I am leaning towards Melli Flores to win the fight because she is the more experienced fighter in the fight, and she is one of the most dangerous fighters anywhere at or around 122 pounds. And even though Ellie Scottney just beat her, Melissa Mortensen is no Ellie Scottney. God bless her. We're going to give Melissa Mortensen a closer look to see what exactly this fighter brings to the table, though at first glance, there are just not a lot of girls I would favor to beat Mexico's own Melli Flores. She is unrelenting, durable, and as tough and persistent as they come. To beat her, you need to compete at a certain level, and Melissa hasn't proven that she does. So I'm already leaning towards Melli to win the WBA title back and become the first in the next line of champions that will populate the super bantamweight division. Now over to a developing story that just broke earlier today. Jai Opetaia to fight Noel Mikaelian on the Garcia vs. Ben undercard September 12th. Zufa Boxing officially announced the 12-round fight this Tuesday. It is unclear whether Armenia's Mikaelian will defend his belt against Australia's Opetaia because the World Boxing Council ordered him to face WBA, WBO champion David Benavidez next, May 29th. That's when the order came down, right on time to block Jai Opetaia from boxing for the green and gold title. Seems that order was more of a reaction to stick it to the Zufa fighter, to stick it to Zufa, but it would seem that Noel Mikaelian is going his own route, irrespective of what the World Boxing Council orders. Regardless, Opataia's Ring Magazine title will be at stake against the ring's number 5 contender. This is a huge card, and I look forward to showing the world once again why I'm the best cruiserweight on the planet, Opetaia said in a press release issued by Zufa Boxing. Credit to Noel for stepping up to the plate while others, yes you David Benavidez, I'm talking about you, continue to run and hide.
Hiding!
The Opetaia vs. Mikaelian match came together quickly as representatives from Mikaelian were in discussions with Benavidez's handlers for a unification fight next. and this went on for weeks. Benvitz is the ring's #1 contender. In the cruiserweight division and light heavyweight divisions, #5. On the ring's pound-for-pound list, the Phoenix native also holds the WBC light heavyweight title, though he might not return to the light heavyweight division after moving up 25 pounds for his impressive 6th-round stoppage of Mexico's Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez. This past May 2nd at the T-Mobile Arena. For what were 2 of the 4 major titles at this weight, he aspired to acquire a 3rd from Noel, and he may yet get it. Because Noel Mikaelian was not free to take on a voluntary. Fighting Jai Opetaia is in direct opposition of the WBC's order, though if you're asking Noel, is it worth it? Not adhering to the World Boxing Council's order, you already have your answer. The fight is made. So what does that tell you? It is rare for a champion to be ordered by a sanctioning body to face the owner of another governing organization's belt. It occurred in part because of Benvitz's handlers petitioning the WBC on his behalf. Mikaelian could be stripped by the WBC for moving forward with this fight against Opataya. Mikaelian, 35, regained his WBC title via UD in a rematch with Badu Jack on December 13th in LA. Sweden's Jack won their first bout by majority decision in May of last year, whereas Noel won the rematch. This is the fight I've wanted since becoming a 2-time world champion, and I'm ready to deliver, Mikaelian said. I haven't fought since December of last year because of circumstances outside of my control. I refuse to stay inactive. Champions are meant to defend their titles, and that's exactly what I'm doing. Preparing to do. Remember that he went into negotiations with Jai Opetaia before anything with David started. The stuff with David came after the World Boxing Council found out that Jai and Noel were very close to finalizing the fight. Noel is basically telling them, hey, go fuck yourselves. Fuck your order, fuck your belt if that's what it comes down to, because the people at Zufa are paying me more money than I stand to make with David. That's what it all boils down to, the money. Why else do you think Noel Mikaelian would sacrifice his reign as WBC champion? The money's gotta be worth it. It's gotta be good. A subject veteran trainer, Robert Garcia, recently broached on the Spit Bucket podcast.
Was getting a lot of criticism from all the other promoters, but it's all because they're doing something that they're not doing. You know, they're giving fighters opportunities. I've always said it. You know, the more promoters, the more competition, the better for the fighters, the better for my fighters. If Zufa starts giving my fighters opportunities, I'm not going to say no. Golden Boy, Top Rank, PBC, Matchroom. Those are the top 4 promoters here in the United States. And those fighters that I have in the gym don't have a deal with neither of them. I reach out to everybody, believe me. And if they never give him an opportunity, and Zufa does give him an opportunity, I'm bringing them to Zufa. Plus, they're getting paid 3 times more than any other promoter pays. So
that part there. That's the important part. That's the part that explains why Noel Mikaelian, a sitting champion, would put himself in a position that might get him stripped. When Eddie Hearn talked about Johnny Fisher's migration from Matchroom over to Zufa, he detailed that Zufa's paying that guy 6 times more money than what he was making at Matchroom. Robert Garcia says Zufa's paying guys 3 times more than everybody else.
So we're happy. I'm happy. They treat everybody with a lot of respect. They have a good team behind them, and I think they're doing a great thing. You know, they're putting up great fights. You know, Ryan Garcia versus Conor Ben. It's a Zufa card, and it's a big card. Everybody wants to be part of that card. So obviously they're doing something right.
This brings the reality of boxing back into focus.
Money.
Recalibrating everybody's perspectives that a lot of the mechanisms within the sport of boxing, including the sanctioning body belts and that entire framework, are all about getting to the money. It is a means to get to the money. But if you can get to the money without them, without the WBC, without their backdoor deals, their chicanery, if you can get there without them, then that's what a fighter's gonna do. Because it is prize fighting after all. There is a large emphasis, a lot of emphasis, on the size of the prize, and Noel stands to make more boxing Jai than he would boxing David. He could easily lose to both. But one fight pays a lot more than the other. And that's the Jai Opetaia fight. Jai Opetaia, 31, last fought in March, when he retained the Ring Magazine title by way of a dominant UD over Atlanta's Brendan Glanton in Las Vegas. After beating Glanton, the Sydney native was stripped of his IBF title for the 2nd time, after the New Jersey-based sanctioning body cited an issue with Opetaia and Glanton fighting for the Zufa belt. and stated it does not recognize that title. Opetaya's team have since taken legal action by suing the IBF as of July 14th, when his attorney filed a 123-page complaint in the U.S. District Court for the District of Nevada. The strong southpaw seeks reinstatement as IBF champion and believes the IBF stripped him in retaliation for signing with Zufa, an emerging promotional company which Ring Magazine owner Turki El Sheikh has made a significant financial investment. Opataya also believes the IBF had no plans of sanctioning his bout against Glanton before he sent a $73,000 sanctioning fee that was promptly returned. Garcia versus Ben, Opetaia versus Mikaelian, and other undercard contests will be streamed on Paramount Plus in the United States and DAZN in the United Kingdom and Ireland. This is one of the biggest cards you'll see this entire calendar year. The Garcia versus Ben card that now Jai and Noel are set to fight on. It's a big opportunity for any fighter. All of these narratives levied against Zufa Boxing are falling by the wayside, that the fighters are going to go over there and get taken advantage of, that they're going to get jerked, that Dana's going to pay them peanuts. That's not what's going on. Guys are getting more to box at Zufa than they would get anywhere else. These narratives levied against Zufa Boxing are not discouraging fighters from working with them and signing to them. It's not working. Oscar De La Hoya and Nico Ali Walsh's constant crying about Zufa, all of their doomsday scenarios, have not discouraged a good number of fighters from signing to Zufa already. Zufa! Because in the end, it's all going to boil down to the money. It is always all going to boil down to the money. And if Zufa's offering better money than the other guys, Zufa, then the fighters are going to go to Zufa. It's that simple. That fucking simple. You had a lot of people out there trying to say that David Benavidez had usurped Canelo Alvarez as the new face of boxing. But this ain't the kind of thing that happens to the face of boxing, is it? I saw a lot of people reacting to David's fight with Zurdo, saying that he's the new face of boxing. He's officially taken over. But his numbers don't tell that story. And what are the numbers for his last fight with Zurdo Ramirez? What are the numbers for David Benavidez's pay-per-views? Because this is not the kind of thing that happens to you when you're the face. Because when you're the face, that essentially means you provide the biggest opportunity, the biggest money, the best money in the division, in the industry. Why do you think so often so many fighters line up around the block single file for a Canelo Alvarez fight? When have you ever heard a guy get an opportunity to fight Canelo Alvarez and then bail on it to fight a lesser known fighter from another country? It doesn't happen. Not to Canelo, but it just happened to David. And it happened to David because David's not the face of boxing. He's not the face of anything. I mean, maybe he's the face of PBC, the one active flagship fighter they have left. But the face of boxing? No, because this is not what happens to the face of boxing. So in bailing on David to fight Jai Opetaia instead, Noel Mikaelian will make more money with Jai than he would make with David. I've been telling you that the money man at cruiserweight is not David Benavidez. He might seem like he's a little bit more popular than Jai Opetaia, but he's still relying on the antiquated pay-per-view model that in 2026 is all but obsolete, whereas Jai Opetaia, he's got a lot more money behind him. Fighting him pays better. And in doing so, Noel Mikaelian, while taking on a substantial risk, still gets the prestige of vying to become Ring Magazine and lineal champion, because that is what Jai Opetaia is. Irrespective of the Zufa title, the Zufa belt that he also holds, before it came to that, he was still this division's Ring Magazine and lineal champion, which is a lot harder to come by than a simple WBC title. They can't email you a Ring Magazine title. You can't be emailed lineal status. You have to earn it. It's the only way to get there, going back to boxing's roots, which predate the alphabet organizations. The Ring Magazine title predates the WBC title, and lineal status, that predates everything. Goes back to the beginning, going back to boxing's roots. And what I appreciate most about this situation is it puts the World Boxing Council in their place, because over the last 10 years or so, they've been trying to impose their will while ingratiating themselves on the boxers and the boxing community at large, overstating their value in the boxing space. In effect, abusing what little power they have, because what was this if not an abuse of power? You guys knew that Noel Mikaelian was in negotiations to box Jai Opetaia, and to freeze Jai Opetaia out, you ordered your champion to fight somebody else's champion? So then, why didn't you do that sooner? When Jai Opetaia still had the red belt, why didn't you order Noel Mikaelian to fight him then? If you've had the power to do that all this time. If you have that power, why don't you do this more often? Across more divisions, more weight classes. Why does it seem like you only decided to do this as a favor to David Benvitz to get him a third alphabet title? Backdoor deals. And a blatant, brazen abuse of power. The kicker is, David may yet get that third alphabet title, but who cares? Even if he gets it, it's not going to get him any money. You guys seem to think that just being WBC champion is the focus, should be the most important thing for the fighter, when the most important thing is the money! The money, you fat fucking bitch! It's the fucking money. And it took somebody with a lot of it to remind you of the true order of things. You like to think of yourselves as the most prestigious belt in all of boxing. Ooh. Identify as whatever you like. In the end, for the fighters, it all boils down to the money. Fucking money. Now, this is an aggressive strategy, and you have to be able to think 2 or 3 steps ahead to really see the value that maybe fighting Jai costs Noel Mikaelian the green and gold title. And maybe that title will end up going to David, but now David doesn't have a dance partner. He doesn't have anybody to fight for the fall. Hey, congratulations. You got another email title at another weight. But who are you going to fight in the fall? Hey. You got to be able to think 2 to 3 steps ahead to see the value in this move, because it worsens David Benavidez's situation. Now, he doesn't have anybody to fight in November. They're smoking him out. Don't you see what this is? He was able to momentarily get out of fighting Jai Opetaia by fighting Noel Mikaelian, except now he doesn't have Noel. He doesn't have anybody. They're smoking him out. They thought that they could freeze out Jai Opetaia. In turn, Jai Opetaia, through Zufa, is freezing out David, to where the only way that you can make money in this division is by fighting me! Because there is no other champion to fight. There is no IBF champion. The IBF hasn't crowned one since stripping Jai Opetaia. You don't have an IBF champion to turn to as an alternative. You tried to freeze out Jai Opetaia, now Jai's people are freezing you out. Smoking you out, you fat bitch. Preliminary reports seem to indicate that although promoters Samson Lukowicz and Don King made a deal for David Benavidez to fight Noel Mikaelian, this is according to Dan Raphael, Mikaelian, I am told, did not agree, has or will sign with Zufa, probable Opetaia opponent, and King will likely sue. Think this is gonna be a problem? That all depends on what's in the fine print and whether or not Don actually still is Noel's promoter, though if he is, he too stands to benefit more from an Opetaia fight than a Benavidez fight. Cause you get paid out of Noel Mikaelian's purse, and Noel gets a bigger purse for Jai than he would for David. So that might be enough to smooth things over. The bottom line is, David's not the money man at Cruiser, Jai is.